Hi guys, welcome back to Pixie Woo. Today I'm going to do a small eyes bigger tutorial, also known as the Megan Fox look. So I'm going to tie my hair back and we'll get started. Okay, I've moisturised my skin with Ombre Elise. I'm now going to use a little bit of Clinique Pore Minimizer. Now, Megan Fox has a few acne scars. Not much, but a little bit. It's not going to take them away completely, but it will help to minimise it a little bit. So I'm just going to take that just through the centre of the face. Now you can blend this in with a finger or a brush. You can use it under your foundation or over the top of. I'm just using my Essential Foundation brush from Real Techniques. Now because she has this slight scarring, she uses quite a matte foundation. If you use a shimmery foundation, it's going to highlight that. I've actually just changed brushes to my buffing brush because I wanted to put a bit more coverage on, so I'm just layering that over the top. Now when I was looking at pictures of Megan Fox, she changes her makeup a lot, especially since she first came onto the scene. I actually preferred her older look much more than I do her current one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bit of the old one and a bit of the new one and blend it together a bit. But you should hopefully see a bit of a resemblance to her makeup. So this is one of my brow palettes. In here I have a bunch of different colours. I've got Omega, Mystery, Brun and Espresso. These are all from MAC. I use these, blend them together to come up with all different shapes and shades of eyebrows. Now she's got quite dark hair, very similar colour to mine actually, very very dark brown. So I'm going to start with a cool brown, which would be Brun, this one up here, and then I'm going to use a little bit of a black as well. So I'm going to start by getting the shape with my MAC 266. Megan's brows have changed very subtly over the last few years. Initially they were quite straight up and down, you know, almost the same thickness all the way, and I really liked them like that, but recently we've seen a much more arched brow, much more like my shape, which I don't love so much on her. So I'm going to do her original brows. So it's pretty much the same thickness from the beginning of the brow to the arch. I just had a coffee and I've really got the shakes, so I apologise if you can see that. The brows come in quite close to the bridge of the nose and they're quite blockish on the inside corner here, so they squared off a bit. They're not like that now, but they were. I quite like them like that. Now I'm going to work in a little bit of a black eyeshadow. I'm just going to put this through in little stripes just to darken it a bit. Now I have a Power Surge pencil from MAC, probably my favourite pencil of all time, and what I'm going to do with that is just put it all the way over the lid. So in most pictures I've seen, Megan wears variation between something gold and something similar to satin taupe. So I'm going to start off by using Power Surge, which is a goldy bronze colour, blend that all over the lid as a base. We'll get to the small eyes big bit in a minute. I'm not saying for 1 second that she has small eyes, but her eyes are smaller than Angelina Jolie, and they're more of a similar shape to mine actually. And she uses a lot of techniques to make them bigger. Sometimes, not always. Then I have Patina from MAC. I'm going to blend that over the lid. It will appear a little bit more goldy than usual because it's got Power Surge to stick to. Now my satin taupe is at home, so I'm going to use a similar colour from Yabby. I can't actually read the name of it, so I'm going to write it in the description box if you need to know. And this is going to go just on the outside corner. And blend that in. Not massive amounts. And we're just lifting that towards the arch of the brow. Actually, this colour's a little bit warmer than satin taupe, but it does the trick. So blend towards the arch of the brow. Not outwards this time, upwards, because we're making the eyes bigger. So, unlike Angelina Jolie, Megan Fox takes this liner a little bit lower under her eyes. I'm just going to blend that down as well, and just on the outer corner, because she doesn't want to close the whole eye up. Right, I just had to stop filming because I am literally shaking from this coffee, and I'm telling you now, I'm never drinking coffee again. So, now I have to do gel liner. It's going to be a struggle, so let me find a brush. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two different eyes to show you two different techniques, and then I am going to even it up. Okay, so it will start off different and then I'll make it the same because I don't want two uneven eyes. But it's just to give you two different ways if you find one more difficult than the other. So, gel liner, and this is where the differences come in. What we're going to do is we're going to take our liner much fuller on the top, so we're making the eye bigger that way, okay? Which is a great shape for someone like Megan Fox and someone like me that has narrow eyes. They're narrow, they're not small that way, but they are quite small that way. So we're going to make the liner a little bit bigger. Still going to put a little flick in, but it's just going to make the eye bigger that way. So we start by getting our basic shape in, and then we're going to come back and just thicken this top bit a little. So sometimes you'll see, if Megan Fox is on the red carpet and she's going for a much more defined eye, she'll wear quite a gel liner like that. More often than not, she'll wear an eyeshadow blended up. So I'm using a black eyeshadow now on my angled brush, and we're going to do the same thing on this eye, but with a black eyeshadow. So this would be her more subtle look. And then she will blend that shadow into the rest of her makeup. Making sure that she blends up there in the centre. Then let's put some mascara on. So what I'll do is I'll leave this like this until we get to the end, and then I'll even up the liner. So I'm using, this is Clinique High Impact Curling Mascara. We want to make the mascara quite full in the centre of the eye. So unlike the Angelina where we made the lashes go outwards, we're making the lashes go up. Just going to comb these lashes through, and then we'll put another coat on. I'm going to put a little concealer under my eyes. I'm using my Deluxe crease brush just to blend that in. that's Bobbi Brown Creamy Concealer. Okay, the false eyelashes that I'm using are number 33s from MAC. Now, as you can see with these lashes, they're much fuller in the centre of the lash, okay? So brilliant if you're making your eyes bigger. So I'm using my gorgeous Tweezerman tweezers to do this. Then I'm going to take more mascara. Back to my patina. I'm just going to blend a little bit of this over my Power Surge underneath the eye. On occasion she does wear black eyeliner, but sometimes it's just on the outside corner, a bit like the Angelina actually. But quite often I see her wear a light flesh coloured eyeliner, which, as you know, will open the eye up that bit more. So I think we'll do that. I have a Serge Lutens concealer pencil, and I'm just putting that inside the eye on the waterline. And then mascara on the bottom lashes. So we're going to concentrate those lashes just on the centre of the eye, make it appear bigger. I see Megan Fox use quite a bit of bronzer. I'm using Toasted from Urban Decay. So just on the cheekbone. And then I'm going to take my buffing brush, just blend that in. Another Urban Decay product, this is a cream highlighter, the colour Sin. Just putting that on the tops of the cheekbones, because she puts her sheen in strategic places, so she doesn't put it all over her skin, because obviously it's not going to highlight it in the best way possible. So she just puts it on the tops of the cheekbones, just to give a little bit of a glow. Let's get the skin powdered. I'm using Chanel Loose Powder in 20, and this is a very old MAC 225. Which is discontinued. Let's do lips. Now, I looked in all of my boxes for the right Megan Fox colour. It's such a hard colour to find because it's kind of a stain. It's not quite red, it's not quite berry. And anyway, what I came up with was Avon Red Brick Glimmer Stick. So I'm just blending it upwards so that we don't have a definite lip line. It's a bit more sheer. Put a little bit more in the centre so that it looks something like that. I'm just going to even my other eye up because it's driving me crazy. My OCD is kicking in and I can't bear it any longer. Then finally, just on the lips, I'm putting a tiny bit of this gloss. It's called Slicked Red, and it is Avon Glaze Wear Shine, and I'm just putting that in the centre of the lip.